Tonight, 2 Mid-North schools receive disability funding support, and a Port Lincoln resident celebrates his 21st birthday in style.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, everyone. 2 schools in our region will share in a $10 million South Australian Government Disability Fund. John Perry Secondary School and Kadina High School will use the funds to assist special education programs.
A cash splash for those who need it most. 2 York Mid-North schools are set to benefit.
John Perry Secondary School, Kadina Memorial School and other schools around South Australia will be the beneficiaries that will do an outstanding job of supporting students with a disability.
Staff at John Perry Secondary School welcoming the news, saying students living with a disability need the extra support.
Doesn't allow them to learn their best in a mainstream classroom. So this is where they may need one-to-one support from an SSO.
Students with a disability moving to high school to get a great education where they can be supported to meet their needs.
The announcement comes as teachers work around the clock on their 2020 Year 7 pilot program.
The first year for John Perry having Year 7s, we're really pleased with the success of the pilot so far. It's like they've always been here, so it's been a really smooth transition.
Enrolments for next year's intake are now open. Students say it's a great opportunity to take the leap.
Pretty easy, you get to know around the school really easily. It takes not a long time, probably like the second week I was in school. I got to know around the school and more people.
They all get along with each other here. And it's been fantastic to see Year 12s actually supporting Year 7s and helping them around the school.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Augusta police have handed out hefty fines totalling almost $17,000 after a group was found breaching COVID-19 restrictions on Tuesday afternoon. Police were called to a home following a complaint regarding excessive noise. Police arrived to find 16 intoxicated adults, with all issued individual on-the-spot fines of $1,060. This is the second gathering in Port Augusta to be issued fines for breaching COVID-19 directions. A 42-year-old man was arrested in Port Perry last night after police caught the suspect acting suspiciously in the main street. Patrols were conducting a general inspection when the man tried to walk off from authorities when approached. Police stopped him, allegedly locating a set of knuckle dusters, methamphetamines and other evidence of drug dealing. He was charged with a raft of offences and will appear in court at a later date. A 34-year-old man has been released on home detention bail after he was charged with assaulting an officer in Whyalla last month. The offender appeared via video link at the Magistrates Court today. He was charged with the offence after allegedly coughing on a police officer and stating to them he had coronavirus. He will appear in court again in June. Planning is well underway for the multi-million-dollar Joy Baluch Bridge upgrade. A website and app are currently being developed that will provide residents up-to-date information on the project.
The Joy Baluch Bridge duplication project is now in its pre-construction phase.
There's still a lot of work going on behind the scenes to work out the way we can deliver this project with having the least impact to people who use the bridge or who live or work nearby.
Residents will be able to see the progress every step of the way. A new website and app providing live updates on the project will go live in coming weeks.
We'll be bringing people along with us, telling people every step along the way what will be happening, what is happening now, what's going to be happening in the next little while. And it's going to be pretty exciting for people to see these projects take shape.
The Port Augusta Mayor excited to see the project in fruition.
The Joy Baluch Bridge, in my experience living in this region all my life, is the greatest and the largest project that I've come across. It's phenomenal and it will be a great thing for not only our region but South Australia and Australia for our transport industry.
So the next real big step that people will see is the establishment of a site compound there. That's the hub of where the project will be delivered from, and that will be along Tassie Street. We'll start commencing that in about August.
Works on either side of the bridge will begin around September, with actual construction expected to start at the end of the year. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Vinnys Food Service has reopened its Sunday meal program in Port Lincoln, helping to serve warm food to the city's most vulnerable. The program forced to reinvent itself and adapt to the current coronavirus pandemic.
A winter warmer for those doing it tough.
We had, on Sunday, we had 25 attend. About half of those were children.
St Vincent de Paul Society's food service reopening in Port Lincoln after being forced to shut down due to coronavirus. The program reinventing itself to adapt to social distancing rules.
We have regrouped and we're now offering a takeaway service. So not coming in and dining because we're not allowed to do that, but we are packaging up a hot meal and then people take that and then go home.
During the shutdown, Fred's Van used a home assistance program to still reach those doing it tough.
Vinnys Home Assistance provides food assistance to people, so that wouldn't be in the form of a hot meal like we do, so that might be in the form of packaged food, non-perishable food.
While food operations may have reopened, Vinnys shops across Port Lincoln and Peary remain closed, putting a financial pinch on the charity.
The Vinnys shops are a main source of income for Vinnys, so yes, it's not been particularly easy. Nonetheless, we have to do what we need to do.
The food service will be operating out of the St Mary's Catholic Church this Sunday.
They do know that it's Mother's Day and they're always willing to put on something slightly special.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, Port Perry's seafood industry looking towards the future, and improved bike trails open in Whyalla. Welcome back. The closure of restaurants have dealt a hammer blow to South Australia's seafood industry. However, staff at Port Perry's local seafood shop are optimistic the industry is beginning to get back on its feet, with orders ramping up.
Keeping the seafood industry afloat in what's been a stormy few months.
The pubs and restaurants and obviously being closed, and we've lost that business for now, but hopefully that turns around shortly and they can get their doors back open.
The lobster industry, one of the hardest hit, with exports to China halted since January.
The raw lobster industry this year has suffered enormously because over 95% of the catch is exported to China.
But staff at SD Caputo and Sons have begun feeling confident the tide is turning.
The fishermen that are still fishing, they're just starting to get into the season now where silver whiting in the winter months start to school up, and we see quantities of silver whiting and King George whiting.
Some innovative ideas introduced have ensured smooth sailing.
Fish and chips, so we're cooking in store now, and that's really taken off.
Customers already reaping the benefits with prawn prices falling dramatically.
Probably their best catch on record for quite a few years, and now their prices have come back quite dramatically.
Mother's Day is only a few days away and the community is urged to support local and buy some seafood to spoil her.
A lot of mothers love their prawns, and it's a good item, I suppose, to spoil your mum.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A former Whyalla local has become a book star, with her very own published work now a bestseller worldwide. The novel has a similar storyline to the popular movie Grease, but with a modern twist.
Opening her first package of hardcover books with happy tears in her eyes.
Oh my God.
What started as a random idea Sophie pitched to her agent in the US is now a romantic novel sharing an important message.
We were chatting about how many of those classic rom-coms we know and love always star the same straight white characters.
Wanting to write something different, she pitched a storyline similar to the movie Grease, except with a twist.
What if two guys met over the summer, then they were thrown together at school and one of them moves?
Born and raised in Whyalla, she now lives in Melbourne following her dreams. Only mostly devastated is her second published book, already a hit around the globe, and holding special meaning to Sophie as she was more than excited to see the finished product.
My first book, The Law of Inertia, was published through a different publishing house, but it was only published in North America, so it's been my first time seeing my book on bookshelves when I go to the shops, which has been amazing.
You can buy the novel in store or through an online bookshop. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Lincoln police are investigating a break-in at a local property last month, where several tools were stolen. It's understood thieves raided a shed on Swan Street sometime between the 22nd and 30th of April. Police say 2 Jimmy brand toolkits and a Repco air compressor were taken from the premises. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of the stolen items is encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Wyler's new bike trail is finally complete, with council finishing off the final stage of construction. The bike path now travels down Egblom Street, with council encouraging cyclists to give it a try.
This long, smooth new bike trail now open to the public. Council completing the final stage of a strategic plan aimed at improving road safety for bike riders.
This shared path travels the whole length of Egblom Street, goes down Cartledge Terrace and ties into our already completed shared path on Hurick Terrace.
Connecting to the wetland pathways and the education precinct loop, this $150,000 path is a good excuse to get out of the house and exercise during the pandemic.
Prior to this construction, we had people on gophers coming out of the shopping centre and travelling down the road on Egblom Street, and this provides a safe path for them to do so now.
Funded by the State Bicycle Program, the new strip allows pedestrians and bike users to feel safe on our roads. A continuous effort to make sure the Still City meets the highest quality road standards. Council have also finished safety upgrades here at this intersection on Nicholson and Hinks Avenue, relocating the holding line and adding in a new stop sign. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. Port Lincoln locals join forces to celebrate a milestone birthday. And a new manager appointed to the Arid Lands Botanic Garden. Dozens of Port Lincoln locals have helped celebrate a very special drive-by birthday party. Brock Allard, who lives with Hurler syndrome, turned 21 yesterday, with the town coming together to ensure he celebrated the milestone in style.
One by one, neighbours and locals drove past to make sure this birthday party didn't slip by.
It's just unbelievable, just what a community we've got.
Brock Allard turned 21 yesterday, but under strict isolation rules, he couldn't have a normal birthday party. Instead, his family thought outside the box and hosted a drive-by party instead, putting the call out on Facebook to encourage the community to help celebrate the special day.
We just thought we'd put it out there, but unbelievable the response we've had.
Brock hasn't had an easy life. The 21-year-old lives with Hurler syndrome, a debilitating condition that affects his breathing, eyesight, speech and hearing. The disease making him a high-risk target for coronavirus.
We haven't been able to take him to the shops or anything because that's the last thing he needs. So we tried telling him it was zombies out there, but he said those zombies aren't real, so we couldn't fall for that one.
Dozens of neighbours and strangers drove and rode past. Even the local fire brigade put on a show. While many put balloons on their cars, some dressed up their dogs, handing out presents and lollies. The party being live streamed for family and friends stuck in isolation across Australia.
Just thank you to the community and everybody who came past. Some people went to extraordinary efforts to, just to make it a bit special.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Great stuff there. 3 motorists were caught drug driving in Port Pirie yesterday. A 30-year-old man tested positive to methamphetamine while driving with a child in the car. He was pulled over by patrols on John Street in the afternoon, where police also fined him for failing to restrain the child. An hour later, a 32-year-old man was arrested for providing a false name to police and driving disqualified, also testing positive to methamphetamine. And just before 11 a.m, a 30-year-old woman was stopped on Senate Road, testing positive to methamphetamine. Port Augusta residents are invited to donate their unwanted clothing or furniture to a local charity shop. Lifeline has been forced to close its doors for over a month due to the coronavirus crisis, unable to take in donations either in-store or through their bins. They're running a drop-off day tomorrow, located at the back of the store in the Coles car park. Donations will be taken from 10 in the morning until 2 p.m. Port Augusta's Arid Lands Botanic Garden have welcomed a new face to the team. Brendan Bevan has been appointed the new tourism manager and he's already making moves, with a new project underway.
Brendan first visited the gardens in 2010, loving every minute of it. He's gone from visitor to manager, recently appointed the head of the tourism icon.
Very familiar with the gardens, regular visitors for many, many years, and really just thought it would be quite an enjoyable opportunity, so jumped at it.
Moving to Australia almost 2 decades ago, he says his career has broadened his skills.
Been extremely fortunate throughout Australia to have worked in various roles and capacities within tourism and conservation alike.
His new role comes as the world deals with a pandemic.
It's been a bit peculiar, it's been a bit unnatural. I think that pretty much everyone on the planet could say the same, but it's been an interesting time to start anything new, really.
Meanwhile, work commenced at the site last week on an area that'll host weddings and events.
I think this will be a really well utilised space. I think people will really enjoy coming here and whatever the event or the occasion might be.
And residents are encouraged to visit the gardens and get a breath of fresh air while social distancing.
Absolutely. Come on down and make use of what's here and enjoy it. The plants are flowering in various areas. It's always beautiful. Doesn't matter what's happening at any time of year, but it's just a spectacular space to come and.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We check the day's finance news, and we'll have the weather details with Britt. Hello again. Time for a quick check of the day's finance news. It was a mixed day across the board. Adelaide, Brighton and Cement, one of the best performers, up by around 4%, while Agribusiness Elders was also green. CSL had an up and down day, eventually finishing green. Bendigo Bank was down, as was Cube and Clean Seas. And both the All Ords and the ASX 200 were down by under 0.5%. To the weather now, and the weekend is shaping up to be a bit of a mixed bag across the region. Here's Britt with the latest weather details.
That's right, John, but we'll get to the weekend weather a little later. First, let's take a look at today. We saw showers and strong winds, Broken Hill reaching a top of 26 degrees, Port Augusta 25, Whyalla 24. 23 the top at Port Pirie today, Woodna 21, Kadina and Cleve both reached 20 degrees, Port Lincoln and Clare 19. From the satellite today, we can see the speckled cloud generating showers over our region in the wake of yesterday's cold front. Jet stream cloud about the north, not producing any rain. To tomorrow, and there's a strong wind warning in place for the Spencer Gulf, with northerly winds expected to reach 15 to 20 knots and up to 30 knots in the south, easing slightly in the afternoon. Seas at 1 to 1.5 metres. We've also got a warning to sheep graziers for tomorrow, with cool temperatures, showers and northwesterly winds expected about the lower Eyre Peninsula, York Peninsula and the mid-north. Around the grounds, 20 the top at Port Lincoln tomorrow, with showers expected from late morning, the chance of a thunderstorm in the late afternoon and evening. Cleve, showers and 19. Woodna, a shower or two with a chance of fog in the early morning, 21 the high. A partly cloudy day expected at Whyalla, looking at a top of 22. Port Augusta mostly sunny and 23. Showers increasing at Kadina tomorrow with a possible thunderstorm later in the day, 21 degrees the top there. Port Pirie showers and 21, showers and 17 at Clare, Broken Hill sunny but becoming windy with a top of 26 degrees. Looking ahead to the weekend now, showers expected about the mid-north, York Peninsula and lower Eyre Peninsula on Saturday. Partly cloudy elsewhere, apart from Broken Hill with a sunny 24 degrees expected. Sunday, mostly fine, apart from showers about the mid-north and York Peninsula forecast districts. Maximum temperatures sitting in the late teens. And a quick look into next week with fine and partly cloudy conditions forecast for Monday. Broken Hill with a top of just 16 degrees, tops of 18 and 19 elsewhere. And John, that's all from me.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news this Thursday evening. On behalf of the team, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we'll be back again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Have a great evening. Good night.